These are the top 15 most embarrassing moments in the NBA, from inexplicably ill-advised shots to shoes that couldn't handle the pressure. We're here to pull back the curtain on the NBA's most unforgettable bloopers. Breaking the ice at number 15, it's the game that Knicks fans still have nightmares about and Bucks fans get to cherish as the quintessential Knicks foible. The game was tight, real tit for tat, and the tension was palpable, buzzing like an electric charge through the arena. It was like the atmosphere was made of taut piano wire, ready to snap. Then in walks Andrea Bargnani, in a moment that would become a synonym for why, pulls up for a three-pointer instead, missing it, and offering the Bucks a lifeline. The Knicks bench reacted like they'd just seen a ghost, their jaws dropping in synchronized horror. The game went to double overtime and the Bucks snatched victory from the jaws of defeat, all thanks to Bargnani's ill-advised three-pointer. Strolling in at number 14, on February 19th, 2014, the basketball world bore witness to an event that would permanently etch itself into the annals of bizarre sports moments. The Spurs were holding court against the Pistons and the atmosphere was electric. However, as the game wore on, Manus Shoe decided it had had enough of playing second foot and chose to steal the spotlight. The shoe literally exploded, splitting open like an overripe fruit. The crowd roared, half in surprise and half in amusement. His teammates and coach Greg Popovich chuckled in disbelief. Breaking into the lineup at number 13, basketball, like any competitive sport, is rife with attempts to gain a psychological edge. But on May 28th, 2014, Lance Stevenson of the Indiana Pacers took this concept to an entirely new and bizarre level. During a dead ball situation, Stevenson, in what can only be described as a moment of absurd audacity, leaned over and blew into LeBron's ear. James looked at Stevenson with a mixture of surprise and amusement, like he just witnessed a circus act during a serious game. This strange, memorable attempt to distract LeBron turned into an iconic moment of playful absurdity. Spiraling into spot 12, in the pantheon of unforgettable sports bloopers, the Brandon Knight missed layup sits comfortably at the top. The date was November 12th, 2014. The Milwaukee Bucks were locked in a fierce battle against the Indiana Pacers at the BMO Harris Bradley Center. The Bucks had managed to steal and Knight was racing down the court. It was all set up for a show-stopping dunk or at least an easy layup, as if the pressure of expectations were too much for him, flubbed the wide-open layup. It was as if someone had pulled the plug on the atmosphere. The crowd gasped, the players looked on in shock, and Knight was left standing under the basket with an expression of disbelief painted on his face. Rolling into the ranking at number 11, March 25th, 2014, a day that Nick Young would probably prefer to forget, but has instead been immortalized in the annals of internet memes and basketball bloopers. Nick Young, a player known for his flamboyant style and infectious energy, found himself with the ball beyond the three-point line. In an instance of premature celebration, Young shot the ball, turned and started celebrating, his shot hands in the air, a grin on his face, even as the ball was still making its arc towards the basket. The crowd, ready to explode into cheers, fell into a stunned silence as the ball clanked off the rim. Young's celebration turned into an iconic moment of hubris, forever etched into the collective memory of NBA fans. Parachuting into number 10, December 26, 2015, it was the day the hardwood court bore witness to an air ball that would go down in NBA folklore. The Los Angeles Clippers were battling the Utah Jazz. DeAndre Jordan, a notorious poor free throw shooter, stepped up to the line. The arena fell silent in that special way it does during free throws, as if everyone is collectively holding their breath. Then, with a flick of the wrist, Jordan let fly a free throw that was more free than throw. The ball floated lazily through the air and fell pathetically short, not even grazing the net. The crowd erupted in a mixture of laughter and incredulous jeers. Jordan's teammates tried to hide their smiles while the opposing team couldn't help but chuckle. Rocketing into position 9, Steph Curry and Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors are known for their on-court chemistry, but in this clique they found an unexpected hiccup in the form of Aaron Gordon of the Denver Nuggets. The scene unfolded like a high school drama. Curry and Green, brimming with victory-induced euphoria, approached Gordon for a celebratory high five. They extended their hands with the casual confidence of men accustomed to acknowledgement. However, Gordon, perhaps annoyed at the unfolding game, refused to play along. He passed them by, ignoring their outstretched hands like an unimpressed monarch dismissing court jesters. The look of surprise and awkwardness on Curry and Green's faces as they swiftly converted the snub into a self-high five was one for the ages. Hurtling into the list at number 8 on January 26, 2017, Enes Kanter of the Oklahoma City Thunder demonstrated why frustration should never be taken out on inanimate objects. The Chesapeake Energy Arena was buzzing with excitement as the Thunder battled the Dallas Mavericks. The energy was intense, but Kanter was having a tough game and his frustration was mounting. In a moment of impulsive anger, he punched a chair on his team's bench. The chair, quite unmoved by the incident, ended up fracturing Kanter's forearm, sidelining him for several weeks. The atmosphere in the arena went from charged to stunned, as fans and players alike processed what had just occurred. Kanter's injury was a stark reminder of the perils of letting emotions overrule reason on the basketball court. Cruising into number 7, Paul Pierce's wheelchair incident during the 2008 NBA Finals was a scene straight out of a melodrama. When Pierce fell to the ground in pain, clutching his knee, the crowd's collective heart stopped, a heavy dread hanging in the air. Pierce was carried off and then wheeled back into the locker room in a wheelchair, a sight that brought flashbacks of some of the worst sports injuries. But then, miraculously, Pierce emerged from the tunnel later in the game, ran back onto the court, and continued playing as if nothing had happened. The crowd erupted into euphoric cheers, creating one of the most memorable moments in NBA history. Breezing into the countdown at number 6, the Hit Me play by Jason Kidd is remembered as one of the cleverest, albeit controversial, tactics in NBA history. On November 27, 2013, the Brooklyn Nets were locked in a tight game against the Los Angeles Lakers. Kidd, the Nets coach, was all out of timeouts, but he had a trick up his sleeve. With just a few seconds left and his team trailing, Kidd said 2 infamous words to his player, Tyshawn Taylor: "Hit me." Taylor, playing his part, collided with Kidd, causing the coach to spill his drink on the court. It was an accidental timeout that allowed Kidd to draw up a last-second play while the spill was cleaned up. Swinging into number 5, in the summer of 2016, Draymond Green found himself in the middle of a social media controversy. On July 31st, Green accidentally posted an explicit picture on his public Snapchat story, thinking he was sending a private message. The reaction from fans and fellow NBA players ranged from shock to laughter as the post rapidly circulated. Green initially claimed he was hacked, but soon admitted to pressing the wrong button. Jumping in at number 4. On May 6, 2015, the usually authoritative and composed Shaquille O'Neal gave the fans a moment of unintended hilarity. As Shaq tried to race Charles Barkley to the video board to break down a play, he tripped over a wire, and his massive 7'1" frame went crashing to the floor. The studio erupted into laughter, and Shaq, always the good sport, joined in. Blasting into the spot number 3, on April 21st, 2016, James Harden, the maestro of crossovers, took Andre Iguodala on a dizzying dance. It was Game 3 of the first round of the NBA playoffs between the Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors. The Oracle Arena was filled with palpable tension and raucous noise. Harden, with the ball in his hand, was sizing up Iguodala. What followed was a dizzying sequence of dribbles and a sudden change of direction that left Iguodala scrambling. Harden then calmly sank a three-pointer, and the crowd, as well as the Rockets bench, erupted. It was a move that showcased Harden's offensive genius and left a lasting image of Iguodala trying to keep up. Leaping into the lineup at number 2, Stephen Curry, renowned for his long-range shooting, found himself the center of an unexpected blooper on January 21st, 2019. In a game between the Golden State Warriors and the Los Angeles Lakers at the Staples Center, Curry saw an open lane and decided to go for a rare dunk. However, as he planted his feet for the leap, he lost his footing and slipped, falling to the court and throwing up an awkward shot while still on his back. The Lakers bench and the crowd erupted in laughter, while even Curry himself couldn't help but smile at the blunder. Soaring into spot 1, LeBron James, already widely regarded as one of the greatest athletes in the world, in an explosive burst of athletic prowess, he leaped and thundered a ferocious one-handed dunk over Nurkic. The crowd let out an awestruck gasp, followed by a roar of approval even from the home fans. Nurkic was left standing in disbelief, and his teammates on the bench couldn't help but admire the feat.